Hi everyone, Aldrin here, and welcome to Wild Bush and Great. Today we are visiting an old classic of the French-Canadian repertoire, the tourtière. And you guessed it, I'll do it in my own twist. Today's tourtière is no longer made with the tourte, that extinct bird that used to populate North America. We'll do it with wild bird nonetheless, and here I'm gonna mix Canadian goose, wild turkey, and Willow Ptarmigan. And for the other ingredient, we'll need some potatoes. Here I'm using russet potatoes. I need their high starch content to make that creamy texture. Russets are known for making great mashed potatoes. It's a meat pie, so we'll need some pie dough. You don't have to make it yourself, you can buy it in store. We'll need the usual suspects: garlic, onions, fine herbs. Here I'm using Savory, thyme, and sage. And we will have some white wine. Traditional tourtière use heavy-handed spices like cloves, cinnamon, and nutmegs. I'm gonna use a little bit of cloves, you'll see later, but I'm not going the route of those, heavy spices. Let's say it's gonna be a more European version of the tourtière. Alright, so let's prepare all the ingredients. We need the onions diced, the garlic diced. For the meat, I could have sent everything to the grinder, but I decided to mince everything by hand. The reason is I want to maintain some chunks of meat here and here, so not all the flavor, I don't want all the birds to mix homogeneously to have one homogeneous taste. I want to be able to have texture variety and taste variety in the dish. The reason also not to use heavy-handed spices is because I want to maintain the taste of the bird, the taste of the ptarmigan, the goose, and the turkey. I don't want to overpower these with cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So I work my meat. The meat that gives me the most trouble is definitely the turkey. It has, the legs has lots of strings. Next time if I'm doing it, I'm probably going to use the breast, and I'll keep the legs for stocks. After peeling the potato, we'll cut them in half, put them in some water. We're going to boil them, and for boiling them, this is where I'm going to use a little bit of cloves just to give it a little bit of zing. I like cloves. I think they have a very unique aroma, but they can overpower very quickly any dishes. So here, with the water, those 4 cloves will not overpower the dish, but they will still give a little bit of sweet aromas, and a couple of bay leaves as well. We'll start the onion with medium heat. For cooking, you will need some vegetable oil or fat, any sort of fat. Here I'm using duck fat. You could use beef tallow as well. That works. So we're gonna start with the onions, and we don't want to caramelize them. We just want to sweat the onions. When they start to get translucent, this is your cue to add the meat. Let's add the meat. So we have our 3 meat here: the ptarmigan, the turkey, and the goose. And I'm gonna crank up the heat to medium-high. So we can start with the seasoning. Here I'm gonna start with the salt, about 1 tablespoon and a half of salt. We can dump in the garlic, the herbs, as I was saying, the thyme, the savory, and the sage, and a good dose of black pepper. I'm gonna lower this back to medium, actually to medium-low. Now we're going to add some wine, about a cup and a half of wine. I wasn't recording, but the potatoes are cooked, and I start mashing them, and then I realized the camera wasn't rolling. So as I was saying, I'm using russet potatoes because I need the high starch content. Russet potato make great mashed potatoes, and this is exactly what we need. When the potatoes and the meat will mix in the pie, we want that starch to go into like a creamy texture. So when you crush the potatoes, when you mash the potatoes, I use a potato masher. You can use a fork, but a fork might overwork the starch in the potato. The masher will will be much faster for the job. And actually, you want to go fast for this because you don't want to overwork anything. Let's have a look at the meat. So the meat has plenty of juices, and we're gonna let those juices reduce a little. So it's been about 20 minutes. The juice has reduced a lot, and I think this is good to go. I think the amount of potato that I have will be able to absorb this quantity of liquid. So now we're ready to mix the potatoes and the meat. And again, you need to work quickly. You don't want to overwork the starch in the potato. Again, the smell of this is incredible. I have all the fine herbs coming through, the white wine, So I'm gonna keep that on the side and let it cool down. And once it has started cooling, we will start working on the pie dough. The pie dough. So the pie dough is very simple, very quick. So you don't have to make it yourself. Of course you can. It's quite easy actually. You can look it up.
Here, this is about
but I bought mine at the supermarket,
cold, just
and
out of the
it's
fridge.
going to be good. Anyway, so this step here is self-explanatory. The only thing you need is flatten out 2 pieces, one that will go at the bottom of your plate and one that will go on the top and cover everything. All right. I'm gonna fold this, shake off the excess, fold this, putting my flour here, the center here, and then I'm going to unfold it just like so. I want to make sure that the dough is making contact, and I'm not going to cut it right away. I'm just going to leave it like this. All right, so this is good. Put it aside and work the top layer. Now your top layer is ready. It's time to pour the cold content of the pie inside your pan, and now we're going to cover it. Line the center here, and then I'm going to unfold it just like that. And again, you want to make sure that there is no holes or bubbles, and you want to make sure that you have in good contact with the pan everywhere. And now you can start cutting by applying a very light pressure on the top, and start to remove the excess. Once this is done and you have a very good seal, it's a good idea to make some cuts on the top to make sure you have the excess moisture and the vapor have a way to come out. Otherwise, the pie will all bulge out and the result is not going to be pretty. We're almost done. Now we only need to whip an egg and liberally apply the eggs to the surface of the crust. This is gonna give you a really nice golden crust. Make sure that you coat every surface. It's gonna make a much nicer product. And that's it, folks. That's it. It's as simple as that. You send it to the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 35 to 40 minutes, depending on your oven. Check from time to time to make sure that you've attained the nice colors that you need. And you're done. Enjoy! So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing. This is what I do. My name is Audran. I hunt, I fish, and I cook. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you, folks. Bye-bye.